Well, over the past few days of the IPL, only one thing has been declared, and that's the fourth team to qualify into the playoffs, which will be the Mumbai Indians, along with Punjab Kings, Gujarat Titans, and the Royal Challengers Bengaluru. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about the remaining 6 matches left in the Tata IPL, some match overviews of the past day's matches, who can get into the top 2 and seal a qualifier 1 spot, and also some replacements. So let's get into the video. Before we do, make sure to like and subscribe. A record which has been set in this IPL season is the longest time between the league stage ending and 4 teams qualifying. 7 matches. The year something close to this happened was in 2011, where three games before the league stage ended, all 4 teams qualified. Well, it'll be nice to see how the eliminated teams look back on their season while the top 4 teams fight for a top 2 spot. Well, this is the remaining schedule. Only one game doesn't really give an impact on who will finish in the top 2. That is Sunrisers versus Kolkata Knight Riders. There's one double header left in which Sunrisers versus Kolkata Knight Riders is. It's the evening game, and all other games really do give an impact because GT have one game left on the 25th of May, and they have lost their game against LSG, which we'll get into later. And MI also can maybe sneak into the top 2 if they're lucky, because they need PBKs or RCB to lose all of their matches, and just 2 of the top 3 to lose their matches. And Punjab and RCB have it straightforward. They just have to win all of their games, and I feel like it's going to be a nice finish to the league stage because all 4 teams have already qualified. So it's just going to be interesting to see how the teams that have been eliminated perform, because there's no big match where there's 2 teams qualified involved other than Punjab Kings versus Mumbai Indians. So today's match is Royal Challengers Bengaluru versus Sunrisers Hyderabad, which we'll get into later. Now let's get into 2 match overviews, which will be covering Mumbai versus DC and GT versus LSG. Talking about Mumbai versus DC, well, we had an interesting match as after 18 overs of Mumbai's batting, they were at some 130, 140, and after 15 overs of Mumbai's batting, they were at 110 for 5, I'm pretty sure. And it was a complete demolition job in the last 2 overs by Namandir and Suryakumar Yadav, who has been extremely consistent this season. And they scored 48 runs in those last 2 overs, which was absolutely brilliant from them, and basically took them to the win there itself, because Mumbai's bowlers took care from there. Well, Santner and Bumrah especially, and the other bowlers also did a great job. Well, after that, you had the GT LSG game, and LSG with the top order absolutely set. You had Mitchell Marsh scoring a century, Aiden Markram giving a nice cameo, Nicholas Puran scoring a fabulous half century, and Rishabh Pant finally adding the touch in the end, which LSG wanted when they bought him for 27 crores. It hasn't been the greatest season for LSG, but I would say it's an improvement over last season. But I don't think, they can go with this team next year as well. They need some big changes, and they need to just improve. GT with their special jersey, well, they couldn't do much because after their top order got out, their middle order kind of got exposed. Even though Shah Rukh Khan and Sharfin Rutherford stitched up a partnership, I feel like the middle order was exposed. And now that Kushal Mendis is coming in as a replacement, which we'll get to later, I think GT have a very big problem here. Well, now let's get into the top 2 scenario. To enter the top 2, this is what these 4 teams have to do. Well, GT have to win against CSK and hope RCB or PBKs lose one of their remaining matches. Well, for PBKs and RCB, it's really straightforward. Win both of your fixtures or win one of the 2 games and hope the other 2 teams at least lose 1 game. For Mumbai, it's the hardest one because you have to win against PBKs and hope 2 of the 3 other qualified teams lose all of their games. So I'm thinking the probability of RCB and PBK's qualifying is the highest right now, and I feel like eliminator might be between Gujarat and Mumbai. Lucknow really shake things up because I really thought GT were making it into the top two, but who knows? Even Mumbai might have a scary entry into the top two. Now let's get into some replacements of these qualified teams. Talking about the replacements, starting off with GT, you have only one replacement where you're replacing Josh Butler for Kushal Mendes. Well, they haven't released a note about Rabada yet, so I don't really know as of recording this video. And after that, you also have MI, who probably has the biggest hit of Jax, Rickleton, and Bosch. However, they've gotten some solid replacements as they got in Bairstow, Gleason, and Cherit Asalanka. After that, for PBKs, you have only one replacement, and that's because of injury. Lockie Ferguson is injured, so they got Kyle Jamieson to replace him. And lastly, you have RCB, who have two replacements. Instead of Lungi Nigiri, they got Blessing Muzrabani, and instead of Jacob Bertel, recently they got a batter called Tim Seifert, who's been in great form. So now let's get into my match prediction, which today's match is RCB versus SRH, a big game in my opinion, because if SRH wins, it's gonna shake everything up, because then maybe Mumbai also have a chance, PBKs will have the highest chance. So yeah, let's see what happens in today's game. I want to go for an upset, so I'm predicting SRH wins this game, with the stars being Abhishek Sharma, as I told again against the LSG game which they had a few days back. And also I feel like an RCB player is going to shine, and his name is none other than Virat Kohli. So those are my predictions and all of the information I give you. I hope you liked it. If you come till here, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.